The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Live from Boston, Massachusetts, it's Unscheduled with Skymo and Dave. First thing I want to do, Dave, us as veterans ourselves, I always want to thank our military and for everything that they do for us to preserve the freedoms that we have in this country. They lay their life on the line every day, and I thank them and God bless their families, Dave. And one thing I want to do before I get started here, I want to explain something to the Facebook friends, because those that know us, they're like, well, why do you say live from
Boston, Massachusetts?
Yeah, when we're sitting here in Carlisle, Ohio.
Is that a lie?
No, that's not really a lie, because our producer, folks,
it originates.
is in Boston, Massachusetts. And it goes through him, then to the rest of the world.
Online.
Right, via online. So, and that's why I say that, live from Boston, Massachusetts. And
I think it'd be cool to say Antarctica.
Well, now, we could probably do that. Yeah, I mean, that would be a lie, but we could do it.
That would
North
be a lie.
Pole or
I mean, if it's internet, it could go all over the world, right?
Well, I mean,
Can we pick the place we want to originate from?
Well, you probably could. Okay. I mean, I don't know how you would get out of...
This gives us cover, though, because worldwide, they don't know where we're at.
They're from Pakistan.
Who was a guy down at had the pirate radio station they just messed with?
What was his name?
I can't think of his name. He had a pirate radio station. FCC took him off the air.
Oh, they caught up to him? Did they find him, throw him in jail?
Took him off the air. I don't know if he's still online or not.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. See, that's the thing about this, though, Dave, is it's out of reach for the FCC. But now, the government, them tyrants up there, they're trying their best to figure out how they can get their claws into it, regulate it, and, tax it, and do everything else they can. Government, these lifetime politicians, everything that crosses their mind, they think it's a good idea, and they want to implement every idea that comes to their mind. This big great idea, and when they just need to leave people alone. So small government's a thing of the past, brother, because it just ain't gonna happen.
That's right.
Well, Dave, I tell you what, let's start the show with this. This poor little woman up there in Iowa, this Molly Tibbetts, my condolences goes out to her and her family. Once again, here we go again, another illegal alien has murdered an American citizen, Dave. I tell you what, I'm so sick of this crap. Here's another Angel family added to the list, a long list of other Americans, and there has also seen a woman last night. She's illegal. She come here, done everything the right way. She's an American citizen now. Come here from I believe it's Mexico, and even one of her own children was killed. So it's affecting everybody, and. But this stuff's got to be stopped, Dave. And it's like I've said all along. These midterms are so important, and you know what's going on. We'll get into it a little bit here. You see what's going on with this Mueller trial and things. They're trying their best. They're scared to death Trump's going to drag their skeletons out and derail their gravy train and all their dark stuff. But besides that, they're a vote for any Democrat in these midterms, Dave, is a rubber stamp to allow these illegals to continue crossing that border. Because here, let's face it, when that little woman up there in New York, that what's her name, Cortez, when she won that election, she started talking this socialism stuff, Dave. And the Democrats are running from her like rats off a sinking ship.
Except for Bernie.
Except for Bernie.
Crazy Bernie still. Yeah. He's still hanging in there.
Well, see, they're like-minded, and they've allied together to try to take over completely the Democratic Party. But here's the dirty secret that people with their eyes open already realize. Brother, the Democratic Party was there before Cortez ever come along. It was there long before Bernie Sanders ever allied with Cortez. They've been socialist / heading toward communism for a long, long time, Dave. This Cortez girl, she's just outing them. That's all she's doing is outing the party. And they're trying to run away from her as fast as they can, but they've been socialists for a long time, Dave. And it's that simple. And they're just trying to deny it. You remember over a period of time, the mainstream media denied being slanted to the left. They denied, allying with the Democrats and been propagandists for the Democrats. But now they're out now. They don't even hide it anymore. They have showed their true colors, but they just give up trying to hide it. And the Democrat Party is doing the same thing. They're trying to hide their true identity, and they're communists. That's that simple, brother.
True socialism just doesn't work. A lot of people think that you got Norway, Sweden, Denmark, all these Scandinavian countries. They claim they're socialist. Actually, they're not. They're just high-taxed countries that provide insurance and various other things, welfare for most of their people. And they're highly taxed.
Highly taxed.
And they're not true socialist. Mm-hmm. True socialism doesn't exist. Anywhere it's been tried, it fails. Look at what's going on in Venezuela. They got 1,000,000% inflation. I can't imagine that. Your money, every day your money's worth less and less, to the point it's going to take a wheelbarrow full of cash, their cash, to go in and buy a loaf of bread.
Right.
And that's what happened to pre-war Germany. Inflation got so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why Hitler came to power. Yeah. Socialism breeds contempt, and contempt breeds war.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're saying. It's even happening to a certain degree right now in Turkey.
Yeah.
Their economic situation is not that great. And when Donald Trump puts tariffs on their products, it hurts them. It hurts them bad. And I look for something to break loose there. Either they'll attack Israel or come into some disagreement with Israel, which will bring us into it, and the Russians, and who knows who else.
Well, they've only got two choices, David. Either buckle down and do things the right way.
You're right, to give our people back to us.
Release this minister.
The minister that's being held, he should be released.
Well, that's just like North Korea. Okay, it's not that these people done anything wrong. They're just simply Americans, and the best way to get back at America is they kidnap an American and put some stupid charges on them and put them in prison, and the same way the devil does our kids, and so that's what they do, and you don't have to, when you got a rogue regime like that, you don't have to do anything wrong, and that's what, you see a lot of Americans, they go abroad to these different countries, Spain and Italy, and there's people still going to France, Americans. I tell you what, brother, I just...
it's a dangerous thing to do.
It makes me nervous to even think about getting off American soil. I have hard enough time fighting with my government to keep what we've got already.
The former U.S. soldier that was, this happened about a year or so ago, that he went to Mexico, and he had his weapon with him.
I remember.
And he reported that he had a weapon.
Well, he's turning around
and he didn't really want to go through with it, but he got trapped in some lane and ended up having to go through customs, and he told them he had a weapon. What'd they do? They threw him in jail, and they wouldn't let him go.
Right. Oh, yeah. I remember that,
If it wasn't for Donald Trump, he'd still be sitting in jail. Obama wouldn't do a thing to get people out of jail.
No, Obama was
useless.
Useless. And I still think he's a Kenyan. I don't care. I believe Joe Arpaia, brother.
He's either a Kenyan, he's definitely a Muslim. I know that. But he could be a Kenyan.
Well, let me read this to you. Now, this God bless this poor family. But do you realize, Dave, there's 48 people have gone missing in the last 2 weeks, and 34 of those are children, according to the Iowa Department of Public Safety. Now, this is just in Iowa in the last 2 weeks. 48 people missing, 34 children. There's something going on, brother. There is definitely something going on. And here's another report right here. And let's see here, 27,000 children were reported missing in 2017. Nearly 25,000 of those children were labeled as endangered runaways. And 1 in 7 were likely victims of child sex trafficking. Of those, 88%, now check this out, Dave, 88% were in the care of social services when they went missing.
That's odd.
Now, that's odd. You tell me, it seems to me like that we've got a sex trade going on in some of our, possibly in some of our state institutions that's supposed to be taking care of children. Now, that's a strong statement, but now, Dave, you tell me 88% were in the care of social services that went missing. Now, there's something bad wrong. Where's the investigation at? Where's the FBI at? Where's Jeff Sessions at on this right here? There's thousands of children missing every year in the United States. And, I seen one report that seemed kind of high, but like 2,000 a day nationwide. And but now, Dave, I tell you what, there's something going on, brother. Something very sinister going on in this country, and I just got a feeling it's got to do with sex trafficking, or it has to do with Satan worship, or both.
That is strange.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's pretty strange. Well, I'd like to know where the investigation's at in these states to find out where these children are at, because they just didn't fall off the face of the earth. Now we have this member of the Clinton mob family, Lanny Davis. You seen what he had to say about Cohen?
He's trying to get some money coming in. That's unbelievable. Cohen is not broke. He owns all these taxis, or the medallions of all these taxis in New York City, and they're worth millions of dollars. How could he possibly be broke?
Democratic way, brother.
I think Lanny wants to be paid.
The Democrat way. What they're trying to do is preserve his wealth, so when he does get off the hook, that Lanny Davis, he'll make a few million off of it, and Cohen will come out of it unscathed. That's the way the Democrats do, man.
Yeah, it is. But the thing about it is, Les, is that there's no campaign finance law broken, because there's no limit on what the candidate can put into his own campaign if it's self-financed. Donald Trump could have paid those women $1 million each.
Yeah.
He's got the money to do it with.
Right.
Nobody donated money to his campaign for that purpose. Money is fungible, meaning that all the money that they take in, it all goes into one big pot, but Donald Trump has enough money in the pot to make those payments.
Right.
So if let's say he did order his attorney, Michael Cohen, to pay those women off, $130,000, whatever it was.
Right.
There's no law against that.
Right.
There's no law at all. So what they're barking up the wrong tree. They're making a big deal out of this, but there is no deal to be made out of it.
Right. Well, you listen to Lanny Davis, and right there he is on the television, and he is no more than a Clinton mobster. Is all he is. And he's a liar and all the above. He's a sickle thin, and there ain't a straight bone in the man's body. He's a delusional liberal, is exactly what he is, and a Democrat, a lawyer on top of that.
But look at the difference, Les, between what's going on with Donald Trump and what went on with Bill Clinton, who he defended.
Oh yeah,
they tried to say that the women weren't any good.
Yeah.
Drag a dollar through a trailer park and see all you could catch with it.
Right.
That's what the kind of terminology they used, and they tried their best to destroy the credibility of all those women.
And Hillary started that.
Oh yeah, Hillary was in charge of the bimbo eruption.
Right, exactly.
But look, Donald Trump paid them off to keep them quiet.
Yeah.
So who did the best thing?
Right.
The one who they got rewarded for their silence.
Right.
And made a legal agreement with them
Right.
to be quiet about it. Because let's face it, it could hurt him in a lot of ways. It could hurt his campaign. Plus, it wasn't great with Melania either. I'm sure she didn't appreciate that.
Well, I'm sure they had their trouble over that. But here's the bottom line, David, is that stuff happened 10, 12 years ago. Okay?
I think it's 2004 or 5.
Yeah, that's his private life. That ain't none of my business. Okay, now, and I would have voted for the guy if I'd known that before he was running, because I wasn't voting for a priest. I wasn't voting for a preacher. Right. I was voting for somebody that would turn this country around. And not only that, brother, I had the inside information because I had listened to those prophets. I'd listened to them prophecies. And, brother, I don't care what people think about it. It just looked to me like things was going that way. But, the man wasn't a politician. He was a businessman. This country, our government is a business. It's a huge business. And look what that man's done. Despite his shortcomings and his flaws, Dave, me and you may not be going out there doing that kind of stuff, but I guarantee you that if somebody looked hard enough, they'd find something that they didn't agree with in our life, and, look what that man has accomplished. The lowest black, and we've heard this a million times, but it's still true. Our economy's growing at 4.1%. They said it couldn't be done, that it can never be done. Black unemployment, lowest in history. Women, lowest in 65 years. America's overall unemployment is the lowest since I don't remember when. He's just smashing all the records. His support from the blacks is up like 36 or 39%. And, he is, despite all that stuff, he's a man of his word, Dave. He's an American first, and you go back and look at his background. Look at his mom and dad. They was immigrants. Come over here, and his dad got in the real estate business and taught his son the real estate business. And that's how he got where he is today. And like I said before, and he said it his own self, I bought those people when I was a businessman. He has nothing to hide.
No, not at all. I mean, look at it this way, too, that even with all the negative reporting that's being done on television, all the ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, all the newspapers, Washington Post, all of them,
right?
They all say bad things about Trump, like 94%, 92% bad things about him.
Yeah.
But yet, still, his approval ratings, I think 45 or 46% amongst the people. And if he had half of the media on his side,
right,
his approval rating would probably be in the mid-50s or more.
Oh yeah.
But even with all the bad publicity and everything he does is wrong, they can't find anything good to say about the man. He's still, people like him.
Yeah.
And he's still doing a good job.
Right.
And that's got to be driving them crazy.
Yeah.
Because
it is.
the New York Times and CBS, ABC, MSNBC, all of them, they have to be looking at this and saying, well, what else can we do to drive his approval numbers down? Mm-hmm. They've tried everything.
Right. Right. Well,
nothing seems to work.
People, I think, and the people are waking up every day, Dave. This is America's time to shine. This is our time in history, okay, to get this thing right. Now, it's up to the American people, Dave. President Trump, he is a vessel, okay, for the American people, okay, to take advantage of and use his love for this country and for the good of this country and for its people. Now, he was in West Virginia the other night. Hillary Clinton pulled the plug on the coal industry out in West Virginia and Kentucky and parts of Ohio. When the coal industry, she tried her best to kill it. Okay, but President Trump, brother, it's alive and well now because of him. It's amazing to me, Dave, and it really makes me angry at the past presidents, including both Bushes and Obama and Clinton. If this businessman, that goes to show, I learned one thing. If I didn't learn nothing else from Trump's 2 years.
I think I know what you're going to say. I learned the same thing.
They didn't know what they was doing,
exactly.
Or they didn't care.
Exactly.
Because President Trump come in here in 2 years, brother. Mm-hmm. He's got our country right back up on top, mm-hmm. and she's got off of her back. There's people working that hasn't worked in years. There's people that's going to work with good paying jobs for the first time. Mm-hmm. He's bringing the trades back, David. He's bringing welders back, truck drivers, mechanics. That's the kind of people we need, carpenters.
I heard a stat on the news the other day. And they said if you want to order a big rig tractor, you have to wait like 9 months before you can get one because they're on back order.
Yeah, that's amazing.
If you want to be a truck driver and you want to order a big rig,
it
takes you like 9-10 months to get you your order.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you order it from, what company.
Right. Yeah.
Now, think of that now. The transportation industry is doing so much business.
Booming, brother.
They can't. They're begging for truck drivers.
Yeah.
They're begging.
Look at around here, all the warehouses they're building around here, and that's business. When you see a warehouse going up, brother, that means imports. That means exports. That means truck drivers. Mm-hmm. That means me and you going wherever we shop to buy our goods. Dave, the semi-tractor trailer is a modern day train of this country,
that's
brother.
True. I heard also on the news, economics, basically Fox Business News. They said that right now, the outlook at Walmart, every department store is gangbusters.
Yeah, Sam's, Costco,
Target, Costco, you name it.
Yeah.
Every store is doing booming business, and they've never seen anything like it.
Right.
They didn't think it was even possible.
Right.
So that's what's happening today, and I look for nothing but the future is bright.
It's very bright. Now, could you imagine what President Trump could do if he had this monkey off of his back and had a Senate and a Congress behind him pushing his agenda? This man knows what he's doing, David. Like you said before, he may not be a man of God, but he's God's man. And brother, we better wake up, and these Americans that's so heck bent on destroying him, if they would just stop and just look at themselves, Dave, what they're doing, and look at the accomplishments that this man. What's more important to me than politics, and what's more important to President Trump than politics, it's the survival of America, brother. It's America booming again, man. Like it should be. We're the greatest nation on this earth. We need to start acting like it, Dave, and stop this. President Trump, when he come in and was elected president, his heart's desire, David, was to be the president of the American people, not just the lesbians, gay community, not just the blacks, the Hispanic community, not just the whites community. He wanted to be the president for all the people. That's why you don't see him at these gay pride parades. That's why you don't see him at this function and that function that isolates people into groups. That's why he don't participate in that, David.
That's right. But, the thing gets me is that all these political people that's been in the swamp, they don't want to see Trump succeed, because if he succeeds, that puts them out of business in the future.
Puts them out of business.
Because nobody predicted that Trump could even get elected, and he proved them all wrong.
Right.
And then they say, well, he'll fail at it because he's not a politician.
He's not qualified.
He doesn't know what he's doing. Look, just the opposite has happened in both cases. So all these people are made to look like fools.
Oh, yeah.
And they can't stand it.
Right.
And that's why everything they can say nothing good about the man, because they want to keep their jobs intact for the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, not only that, their children is starting businesses. They do these backdoor deals, David, that me and you don't know about. And then and they pass these laws, and then their family has companies that make deals with that these companies prosper from. Their family is involved.
Exactly.
They come in the back door and they get very filthy rich.
That's exactly right. That's why John Brennan was so upset when he took his security clearance away, because that goes into million. You won't believe this, but I heard.
Yeah, I will.
I heard over 4 million people in the United States have security clearances.
Yeah.
Now, why do 4 million people need security clearances?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a good old boys club.
The reason is they make money off of that.
Right.
And if Trump starts taking away all their security clearances, they can't make no money.
Exactly.
And that's why they were so upset about it.
Right. So, that's once you leave the public service, your security clearance should stop right there.
That's right.
And if you go to work for a Defense Department, or if you go to work for a contractor that's contracted with the Defense Department,
then a need-to-know basis.
A need-to-know, but you get your security clearance all over again, because that puts you on.
You know how much it costs to get a security clearance?
I don't know.
It's $20,000.
Really? Yeah.
$20,000.
Now, why is that?
And the company has to pay for that. If it's an arms company that makes top secret weaponry, the company has to pay that.
Yeah.
To be checked out.
Right. Now that sounds like that's I believe that, but now you tell me why it takes $20,000 to run a background check on a man.
It's a pretty thorough check.
And but it just don't make no sense. And somebody's overcharging somebody right there. And then you got Manafort. Now, I said the other day on there that I believe Manafort would be either a hung jury or not guilty, but I got it half right. And but he would.
We get about 65 years, something like that.
Yeah, he's guilty on 8 and a hung jury on the other 10. But see, these things they was 12 years old. Yeah. All these things. Now, Dave,
it's a funny thing to me. Why in the world did they? Well, see, the thing is,
they never come to light.
They looked at all this years ago and they decided not to prosecute.
Yeah.
But this isn't no surprise.
Right.
So what Mueller did was dug up old stuff that had already been done away with, and the government chose not to prosecute him. And so he dug all this stuff up to prosecute
to try to pinch Trump. Is exactly what he's trying to do. Mueller is just as dirty. Rosenstein's just as dirty. I tell you what, when you get the known people out that me and you know of, and we have heard of, I got a list here, bro. I'll read it off when I get to it. When we get the ones out that we know of, there's still another layer of deep state people down there, and there always will be, Dave.
The Republicans are so
career
stupid.
People.
I remember, and you remember when this happened, and you seen it coming, and the Republicans, why they ever appointed Mueller, why they ever agreed to do this, I'll never know in my life when they ran both houses of Congress.
Yeah.
It was within their power not to do this.
Right.
But they did it anyway.
Yeah.
What kind of stupid is that?
That's very stupid. And the Republicans has got a habit of that, David. These spineless, coward, yellow-belly, weak-kneed, jellyfish Republicans has got a habit of cowing down to the Democrat Party, and then they ain't a lick of fight to them. They lay down.
Now you know what the latest Democrat proposal is. Not to get the new
Kavanaugh.
Until they get this thing with Trump settled.
Right.
And knowing the Republicans, they're stupid enough to probably do it.
I get so angry at the Republicans that laying down these lifers. Them's the people, they got to go, man. We need new blood in there.
They're so worried about getting reelected.
They do that over and over and over. They will not respond to the accusations. They just sweep stuff under the rug, Dave, just hoping it'll go away, and they look like a bunch of fools.
No, they need a whipping if they delay Kavanaugh's confirmation.
I tell you what, man. Yeah, I seen on that today.
They need a whipping.
What's the bald-headed guy? He's going to run for president in 2020, probably. That black congressman. I can't think of his name.
From New Jersey?
I don't remember where he's from.
I can't think of it.
But a young guy. But anyway, I mean, this is just par for the course for them, Dave. They're just grabbing on anything they can. But you know what? Now, I'm going to make another prediction here. Now, I got part of that one right, but I didn't get the other half right. But I don't believe there's going to be no blue wave come midterms, because the longer Mueller and Rosenstein drag this out, and the longer Jeff Sessions stays under the bed hiding, the more that we're getting sick and tired of this crap, Dave.
Tell you what, though, the Republicans better get motivated and come out to vote this fall.
Yeah. Well,
they better come out en masse, because we're going to wake up Wednesday morning after the election.
It's going to be a sad day if they don't.
We'll be crying, because you know what's going to happen if the Democrats take over the House. There'll be impeachment hearings.
Oh, yeah. Right off the bat, that's the first thing they're going to do. But it takes 2/3 of the Congress. That's the only thing that will stop it. But see, here's the thing. That's going to bog the government down and slow the Trump agenda down. Like I say, could you imagine where we'd be at right now if that man can accomplish as much as he has, more or less on his own, David, with very little help, and ones that
get zero help if the Democrats take over the House. All spending bills originate in the House.
Right.
All spending originates in the House.
They got the purse string.
And they're going to make it rough on Donald Trump if he loses the House.
That's their main target right now, is to take down Donald J. Trump. Now, folks, if you want to call in at 1-800-508-5431. Give us a call. Call us, just let us know you're listening. And
say, we're live. We're here.
Say, we're live. Prank call, anybody. Give us a call. Give us a call, and we'd like to hear from you. But now, I knew what it would be with these two trials. Now Cohen has cut a deal with him to keep him only 3 to 5 in prison. He's supposed to have this information, that information. He don't have anything, David, that's going to reflect on President Trump. The man don't have nothing, or he wouldn't even went to trial. If he'd had some barn burner stuff on Trump,
Mueller would have never let him go to the Southern District of New York.
Exactly.
He took and gave that to the DA there.
Yeah.
So, so you're right. There's nothing there.
Nothing there.
I'm sure he's looked at it. So all the news reports are fake.
Well, and and if President Trump, if he pardons Manafort, then more power to him. They should have. This stuff, like you said, was looked at a long time ago, Dave. If this was a big deal, he should have been prosecuted back then. Me and you talking about statute of limitations the other day. You know, and by the way, Pennsylvania, they're looking at the statute of limitations on rape now, and for sex crimes against children, and so they're talking about doing away with that statute of limitations. How can you sit down, Dave, in clear conscience and debate statute of limitations on raping and molesting a child? How do you do that? You got to
like
be
murder, I would think.
You know, you got to be a pretty sick son of a gun. Oh yeah, if you can get away with it for 10 years, 12 years, you're scot free. You know, that statute of limitations should be on stuff like this that Manafort was got for. If you're going to have a statute of limitations, give a person, you know, an opportunity, to get things right there, but never on child rape or murder. You know, it's just ridiculous. Let me read this list. Here, you want to know who needs to go to prison? That'd be Hillary Clinton, James Comey, Brennan, Obama, Clapper, Yates, Hayden, McCabe, Mueller, Rosenstein, Rice, Lynch, Strzok, Holder, John Kerry, traitor to this country there was, Huma Abedin, Schultz, Nancy Pelosi, and Schumer. Now, there's the ones right there. That's a list of the ones that ought to be indicted and in prison right now,
list.
brother.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Well, buddy, that ain't all of them either. That's just the top dogs. That's the leaders of the pack right there.
But you know, the leader of the band was Obama.
Oh yeah.
Everybody should be underneath him.
Oh,
he should be number one.
Absolutely.
Then number two, I think, would be Hillary.
Yeah, I agree.
And then John Brennan was probably
Brennan,
three.
Susan Rice.
Yep.
Right there close to the top.
They just like somebody said, I heard, they said what they did was they exonerated, the number one goal was to exonerate Hillary, let her go, get out of it. Then number two is to frame Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And they did it, as soon as the Hillary case was over, they started the framing of Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing, Dave. This Mueller investigation should have never, ever started. You're supposed to have, in order to hire a special prosecutor.
There was no crime.
Exactly.
They're in search of a crime.
Yeah, they're looking for a crime.
Most investigations occur when there's a crime done.
Already done.
If I kill you, or wound you, or steal from your house, rob you, or if I burn something down, there's a crime.
Right.
Then they come looking for who the perpetrator is.
Start the investigation.
This way, they started with the perpetrator and tried to find the crime that they did.
Right, yeah.
And that's exactly what went on.
Now, you tell me why. Okay, now, I understand why President Trump's letting this stuff go, because, he's getting enough fire. But at this point, I don't understand him not shutting it down. I know he'll get a lot of political flack, but if these midterms turn out good for him, if the Republicans hold the line, I look for him to shut this thing down. I just pray to God he does, because it's a crime the way Mueller is doing it. Mueller is a criminal to start with. Rosenstein is a criminal to start with, because this should have never, there was, like you said, there was no crime, number one. Number two, the dossier was false. Everybody and their brother lied to this judge, to get this warrant to start this investigation to start with.
The FISA
who's investigating these people?
Right, the FISA warrants were all illegal. Because they were all under false pretenses of this dossier that had phony information in it.
Right.
And it was all bought by Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Yes,
and the DNC. They all paid for it. So anybody in the FISA court should look at that. They should be mad right now. They should look back and say, this junk was presented to me for a warrant.
It should be the Trump judges. Campaign. The judges assigned these things.
Exactly, to spy on the Trump campaign. They made all this false junk up so they could legally spy on the Trump campaign and use the levers of government to do it.
Right.
They could do anything they wanted to.
Yeah.
Because Brennan was in on it.
Well, Brennan was one of the lead dogs on
the whole thing.
Well, sure he did. He's a communist anyway.
Yeah, he voted for Gus Hall, I think, in the 1970s.
70s or 80s?
Early 80s or late 70s. Yeah, he voted for Gus Hall, who was a communist. I guess he was a communist in the United States. I guess there was an organization called the Communist Party of the United States.
Yeah.
Which,
I believe that's what it was, Dave.
That's absolutely bizarre.
Oh,
How
man.
in the world could you get a security clearance after being a communist?
Yeah, and voting for a communist.
That's ridiculous.
Now, he's a Muslim now, so...
That's really sweet.
So I guess he's a communist Muslim. Is that anything like being a socialist Democrat?
But the thing is, he says he's not political.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's just like when when you watched him testify, that little weasel, you could tell he was no good just by looking at his face, that he was straining just to get through that thing, man. You know, he was a cornered rat, and he knew it. But, you know, man, this thing, David, it's got to blow up on him. There's too much illegal crap going on.
The thing is,
who's investigating this? Who's checking who's investigating the investigators?
The thing, though, I've looked at this and I've studied it. The thing the mainstream news media is in with the DNC.
They're propagandists.
And they're in with Brennan, and they're in with everybody. It's all a big cabal against Donald Trump, and everybody's involved. And there's no way, when you've got that many organizations against you, when the Democrats aren't leading, it's NBC, CBS, ABC, they're all leading the charge.
Right, sure they
take turns leading the charge.
Yeah.
And they won't cover any good things that Donald Trump does. It's all bad stuff.
Yeah.
And they make it bad. If it's not bad, they make it bad.
It's just like this little girl, when they found out they reported on it until they found out he's an illegal alien, and then they quit reporting on it. That's the kind of disgusting, no good dogs that they are. They're propagandists. You just put Tokyo in front of any one of them's name. Tokyo NBC. You remember Tokyo Rose, the propagandist during the war? Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of the Tokyos, you know. That was probably that's all they are. They're propagandists, and spreading this propaganda is all they are, Dave. And I tell you what, and I really believe that a lot of moderate Democrats has walked away. There's probably several thousand moderate Democrats that have walked away, and God bless them, you know, for it. And I hope they stay the course, brother, because
we need their votes in November.
We need their votes, and you know, here's the choice you got: continue on this path of prosperity in November with Donald J. Trump, or vote for open borders, rape, murder, theft, terrorism, because that's what you're going to get with the Democratic Party, Dave. It's going to look, if they had control of everything, it would look just like Europe. There'd be gang rapes in the street, there'd be murders, there would be no-go zones, there'd be a mosque on every corner preaching, kill the infidels. It would look just like the Middle East if the Democrats had their way. And there is nobody that can factually defeat me on that right there, because that's exactly what they want. They want to turn this country into hell, just like Europe is. And that's just the way I see it. And the evidence points to that, Dave. Can you argue with me on that?
No. You're exactly right. A country without borders is not a country.
Not a country.
If anybody can come in at any time, what kind of country is that? And you're finding the Europeans more and more are starting to wake up to that fact, because I think the number one name for a boy in Great Britain is Muhammad.
Muhammad.
You think about that.
Yeah.
There's so many Muslims coming into Great Britain that the number one name for a boy born today is Muhammad.
Right.
That's bizarre.
It's bizarre.
It's crazy. And if you don't stop illegal immigration, you will cease to be a country.
They're slowly but surely committing suicide over there.
They are.
You look at these boats and these ships, these trains, these mobs that coming into these countries. 99% of them are battle-age men. You don't see any women hardly. If there's a wave of women, it's secondary to all these men that's coming in there. They're coming in there, David, with the purpose of taking it over, a purpose of overthrowing the system. They're not coming in there to assimilate. They're coming in there to destroy wherever they're going. That's evident. It just boggles my mind. And then you got this idiot Governor Andrew Cuomo. Did you hear what that knucklehead said?
America's not great.
Saying it never was great.
Never was.
Tell that to a Jew. Tell that to a Holocaust Jew that's got the tattoo in their arm that America never was great when we liberated France, we liberated the concentration camps. Everywhere we went, David, everywhere the American soldier has went, there's been people liberated. Now you can even take that to Vietnam, where it more or less that was a stalemate, and you can take that to the Korean War. Now, North Korea never, the people there, it was pity on them, but you seen South Korea rise up and flourish because Americans was there. You seen Vietnam now, they're a communist country, but brother, they're flourishing, they're doing pretty good right now in Vietnam. They're industrial.
I had this movie recorded. It was called Run Silent, Run Deep. It was I think it was a John Wayne movie. And it says this movie's about the sneak attack on Pearl Harbor by the Japanese.
Right.
But political correctness says today you can't say sneak attack.
Yeah,
it's a surprise attack.
Yeah. Surprise.
But the old timers, they go back to 95-year-old old timers that were in the sneak attack on Pearl Harbor. They call it a sneak attack.
Exactly.
And they won't shake hands with the Japanese.
Right, no,
they don't like them. They don't care for them at all, and they won't.
Right.
They won't shake their hand and say let bygones be bygones because they lost a lot of their friends because of that sneak attack. And that's exactly what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why we nuked them.
Exactly. Could you imagine and they've run the numbers on this, it's up in the millions. If we would have had to hit the beach,
they said we would have lost 1 million soldiers.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Truman said, no way, we're not going to do that.
And he done the right thing.
He did do the right thing.
Absolutely.
He's a Democrat, but he did the right thing.
You know, well, that was back before they become communists.
I would have voted for him.
You know, everywhere the American soldier has stepped foot, David, they have liberated people. They've either been in concentration camps, they've been prisoners of their own government. We've split countries, and at least half of them, like South Korea, at least half of them done well and prospered.
What if we stayed over here in World War I? What if we never went overseas? You know, the French would be speaking German right now.
Exactly.
And so would Great Britain.
Yeah.
They'd all be speaking German.
Well, Europe would be speaking German.
They would have been all German.
Exactly.
Or it'd been the same in World War II eventually.
Exactly.
Hitler would have gotten tired of fighting with the Russians and would just kept what he had and would have left the Brits alone.
Yeah.
And probably would have had all of North Africa, all of Europe, Scandinavia, and would have just kept it.
Right.
And they'd been German right now.
Right, exactly.
That'd be Greater Germany.
Exactly. Yeah.
But look, we came to the rescue.
Like we always have.
If it hadn't been for us and the Russians on the Eastern Front and us on the Western Front, the Germans would have never lost the war.
Absolutely.
And if they never attacked the Russians, they would have probably won the war.
Well, the Germans were the first ones to design and fly a jet.
But you know, I was watching this. They said that
they was brilliant people.
All of Hitler's regime were on crack.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Or methamphetamine. They were on methamphetamine.
Well, no, the Japanese
they said they were meth heads.
Yeah.
Including Hitler himself.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He was a meth head.
Yeah.
That he would get injections every day from his own personal doctor.
Is that right?
Yeah. And it was meth, amphetamines.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But they said they were all involved in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Goebbels was morphine junkie or something.
Is that right? Yeah.
They all were a drug abuser.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. I heard that the Japanese and the North Koreans done the same thing, that they would dope their soldiers up, and it's hard to kill them.
They said that's why they had such success with Blitzkrieg, because they would never stop fighting.
Yeah.
They just keep on going. As long as their equipment would roll, they would roll.
Right.
And go with it.
Well, that's not too out of the. That's not too far out there. That's believable.
Tweakers is what they call them.
Yeah, tweakers. Yeah. And so I don't know, Dave. I tell you what,
Hitler was a tweaker.
He was a tweaker, and but Cuomo
he was nuts too.
I seen part of the speech where Cuomo said this, and man, he thought that he was going to get a standing ovation for that comment. But boy, people was taken aback by that. They didn't know how to react to that exactly. Then he started backpedaling, as they always do. When they start backpedaling, what they first said is what's in their hearts first time, David. And
I think so too.
But now it just tears me up, boy. I just, how in the world can you say that after America has, went around the world and liberated people? We fed the world, David. We have fed this world. There's crops and things, or farms. We grow things that can only be grown in America, and we ship this stuff all around the world, Dave. And it's just these people are off of their rocker, and you got these college professors. They're assigning, making literature in the colleges. They're making that stuff mandatory reading for their students. Your kids, you send them. If your kids don't have good, strong morals when they go to college, they're going to come out of their skulls full of mush and little liberals, David. And
they are.
And you got Chelsea Clinton out there. I tell you what, she's just like her mother, man. And watch for her on the political scene now. You watch what I'm telling you. One of these days, she's going to pop up and she's going to run for office somewhere. But she's saying that abortion added $3.5 trillion since Roe v. Wade to the economy. And Franklin Graham come out and blasted her over that. Here's my point. Whether it did or whether it didn't, murder's murder. I don't care how you cut it. But that's a pretty stupid statement, Dave. So in that case, let's go ahead and murder some more babies then in that case.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then the thing is, it's affected minorities worse than whites.
Yes.
If the blacks hadn't been basically euthanized,
yes,
that's what it's been turned out to be, the abortion, killing the young.
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, they would be still the second, be right behind whites as far as population goes.
Right.
But because of that, Hispanics have taken over.
Yeah.
As being the number.
They was 12
higher.
Percentage.
Percentage.
The blacks used to be like 12.5%.
I think they're right now around 13, something like that.
Yeah, well, and the Hispanics is up there 15, 16%, something like that. But, Planned Parenthood, since last year, has killed 321,384 babies. And a grand total of, since Roe v. Wade in 73, 7.6 million. And that's on the low side. That's got to be low, in my personal opinion. But now, Dave, this stuff, I'm surprised. And I've said this 18 times. Even with that, we're still prospering. And I wonder how much more of this is the good Lord going to take and look at. Despite that, we're still a blessed nation. It just blows my mind how God just keeps looking at this. His mercy endureth forever. I guess that's all I can say, brother.
Well, there'll come a time when the cup will be full.
Yeah.
And that's when the judgment will come. But it will happen. And God will not be mocked, and He won't be done. The shedding of innocent blood is one thing that God hates.
Yeah.
We know that because the Bible says that. Those who shed innocent blood, how much more innocent can you get than an abortionist who kills a baby in the womb?
Right.
But yet they take no thought of that.
Right.
They think that they raise more of a ruckus of a mother and a child being separated at the border than they do with abortion. That's how foolish they are.
Right.
They don't understand that. Isn't it much worse to kill an unborn baby than it is to separate a mother and from their child, rather than put them both in confinement? Because let's face it, they are breaking the law. If you or I break the law, if we go in and rob a bank, we're going to be separated from our family.
Yeah.
They're going to catch us. They're going to put us in jail.
Right.
And our family's not going to be in the cell with us. That's just normal. You don't put the people together. You just don't do that.
You don't have a family in prison cell.
You can't put the whole family in the same jail.
You and Bubba.
But they're breaking the law.
Breaking the law.
But they refuse to accept that they are breaking the law because they don't believe in borders.
Right.
That's why they don't think that they're breaking the law, because there is no border.
They're reprobates, David.
I think so too.
And
it's a dangerous place to be.
All right, we've got 1 minute here, brother. Boy, you believe that, Dave? That the time has went for that fast? I've got all this information.
Can you read the rest of that real quick?
Yeah, right. Hey, folks, I appreciate you sitting in on us and listening to us. Those on Facebook, Jimmy, I appreciate you, buddy, so much for doing what you do. And, God bless America. Dave, we got 30 seconds.
I like to read this list again. The people who should be in jail: Hillary Clinton, Comey, Brennan, Obama, Clapper, Yates, Hayden, McCabe, Mueller, Rosenstein, Rice, Lynch, Strzok, Holder, Kerry, Ahmadine, Schultz, Pelosi, and Schumer.
Lock 'em up. God bless y'all. Thank you so much. Jesus loves you, and we'll catch you on the next time on Unscheduled with Les Skymo and the Dave. Thank you, Jimmy.
And the band